Good morning. How are we doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. We have a small class today. I don't know what happened to other people, but it is time and we're going to start. I think hopefully more people will join in momentarily. I am recording and I'm going to I know I'm repeating myself. You can always unmute yourself and ask a question. Anytime, if I make a mistake, you can say, well, why are you writing 3 over that? That's totally fine. Don't hesitate to do that. So that's the normal thing during lecture. You can always do that. Number 2, you can always ask questions. Can you do something that I haven't done that I've already assigned? And I'm saying these things because some people watch the videos. So I'm talking to everybody. And you can always say, can you do something from MATLAB? Can you do something from the book? So anytime you have a question, and I'll ask you, do you have any questions for me? Anything specific you want me to do? In the last part of the class, I am open to taking general questions. Where is that? Where is that? Can I see this? Can you post this? All those things. I'll save the last 15 for discussion, but in the beginning, math. Just to let you know, a week from today is our exam 3. And I will be working on the study guide, but you know that the cutoff point will be wherever we stop on Wednesday. And we'll leave a little extra time on Wednesday, basically almost a week away, for you to ask extra questions. Just call it review day or whatever, not the whole day, depending on where we stop. I'm not going to start a new section on Wednesday, I can guarantee you that. But if we have a couple of things we need to wrap up, I will wrap up things on Wednesday, and wherever the cutoff point is, that'll be the syllabus. It will be under study guide. Other than that, any questions from anyone? Okay, so guys, we are, as promised, we will wrap up 1.6. 1.6 is about equations. And even though they are not quadratic equations, but we are heavily using quadratic equations. Okay, so 1.5 was about quadratic equations, and we learned how to solve them in a variety of ways. Today, we are going to see how we can use substitution if we run into a complex equation, something like this. So I'm going to do 2 of them, and these are probably 2 of the hardest ones from this section. And let me get a tissue, okay, guys? And I'll be back. So we're going to work on it.
So the sweet potato, you can start over.
I missed it. Could you repeat what you just said? I missed. I was going to get a tissue. Did somebody say anything to me, guys? Those of you who heard him.
No.
Okay, talking to yourself. That's fine. No problem, guys. All right, guys, back to our problem. We are working on the very last section of chapter 1, and we will start chapter 2 today. That's the plan. So this is certainly not a quadratic equation, but it can be turned into one. How so? I am going to replace this with y and this with y, and it will look like a quadratic equation. So my substitution will be y equal to x squared minus x. And you have to kind of look for quadratic equation. What do I mean by that? You have to look at your equation and decide what kind of substitution will turn it into a quadratic equation. And then we can just use quadratic formula, factorization. So this will become y squared. This will become 14y and 24. Now, if the numbers are too big and too complicated, I just use the formula. So I'm going to try it, okay? 24 can be split into 12 times 2. I'm going to do it here, and then I'm going to erase it. Otherwise, there's too much here. I find it distracting. I'm sure some of you as well. So 24 times 12 is, 2 times 12 is 24, and 2 plus 12 is 14. So that's excuse me, that's a good sign. So let's see. I'm going to write it as follows. I'm going to take my 12 and 2. I'm not going to worry about the sign yet. I'm going to just write 12. Now, should I put plus minus? This plus, okay, I'm going to use a different color. This plus tells me the signs have to be the same. And this minus tells me if you're going to put 2 minus, you're going to get minus 14. If you're going to put 2 plus, you're going to get plus 14. You don't want plus 14y, you want minus 14y. So I'm going to go with minus. So I'm done with the first part. Now, if you don't mind, I'm going to erase this. And I'm pretty sure I'm being recorded, yes. So remember, guys, this means either this is 0 or this is 0. If this, the left-hand side is 0, adding 12 to both sides give you this. And adding 2 to both sides give you this. You're almost done, but not quite. And let's use a different color and do the rest of the work here. Now, the question wants me to find x, and I have to find x. If y is equal to 12, I'm going to say y equal to 12 means, this implies means, you can put an arrow, means x square minus x. It's a little bit of work, guys, so I may have to scroll down, okay? This is 12. Now look here, what we ran into. We ran into another quadratic equation, and yes, we have to take the time to solve it, okay? How do we solve a quadratic equation like the one I have in this yellow ink? I'm going to put everything on the same side, and this is not too difficult. I'm going to bring everything on the same side. It's a plain regular quadratic equation, and you can see it can be factorized as follows. 4 I'm going to check it, okay? So this is the first thing I'm going to do. I'm going to check. Plus 3 minus 4 is negative 12. And minus 4x and plus 3x is negative x. So I know I'm correct. And I'm going to just, you know, now by now, hopefully you guys see that that means x is equal to 4 or x is equal to negative 3. I'm going to do a quick check here. If x is 4, I'm going to do a quick check, and I'm going to do it in red, and then I'm going to delete some of these lines. I'm putting x here. What do I get? 4 square minus 16. 16 minus 4 is 12. 12 squared is 144. Okay? Minus. Again, x squared, x is 4. 4 squared is 16. 16 minus 4 is 12. And 12 times 4, 14. I can do it in my head, but I'm not going to take my chances. 12 times 14. I'm getting 168. So I'm going to put 168 here. And then I have a 24. And lo and behold, 24 plus 144 is 168, and 168 minus 168 is 0. So I know that one worked, and I'm not going to worry about the other one. Trust me, it's going to work too, because we got it from the same source. We didn't make a mistake. But you should check it. So I'm going to erase my check mark, okay? So I checked the first yellow one. I'm gonna accept this as my answers. Okay, I'm going to put it in a red box. That's important. That's what I'm going to enter. If I were to take the test, that's what I'm going to enter. So I'm going to do another one in, let's see what ink I can choose. Let me choose orange. The next one will be y is equal to 12. Sorry, y is equal to 2. We did the 12 one. And y is actually x squared minus x equal to 2. Now, this is going to be interesting, guys. I'll tell you why. Okay, so I'm gonna say, here, I'm gonna bring everything on the left-hand side, x squared minus x minus 2. I know I changed the color to red, but excuse me. Well, let's do it in orange. Let's be consistent. Not that it matters too much. Okay, so this will be x. So I'm putting everything on the same side. It looks like a typical easy quadratic equation. Okay, now, all right, so this one is almost too easy. 2 and 1 are my friends because 2 times 1 is 2 and 2 minus 1 is 1. I'm going to worry about my signs in a minute. I want a minus 2 plus 1. If this minus sign tells me I want the signs to be different, okay? And this minus sign tells me the big one has to be minus. And that tells me x is equal to 2 or x is equal to minus 1. I'm going to assume this is correct, but I'm not going to put a box around it yet, guys. I'm going to do a quick check. This is not too hard to check because you can almost do it in your head, but you will have your calculator. Once again, I'm going to do my check using pink. I'm putting the value of 2 here. 2 square is 4. 4 minus 2 is 2. And that when you square it, you get 4. What do you get here? 2 square is 4. 4 minus 2 is 2. 14 times 2 is 28. And I can totally see 24 plus 4 is 28. 28 minus 28 is 0. So we are good. I'm going to accept it. Now, if you really want, you want to check the next one, but I can totally see I didn't make a mistake. So I'm pretty confident that my answers are right. I'm going to erase the last few things I wrote here. Other than that, I'm going to leave it here and give you literally 1 or 2 minutes to process it. It does have 3 solutions. How are you going to write the answer on the exam? The best way to write it, the best way. I'll tell you what I mean. 4, -3. The order really doesn't matter. Now, if you don't put the braces, it's not a typical set question, but braces are generally used. It's formal. I'll give you points, but when you're talking about sets specifically, you have to use braces. For this one, you write the numbers nicely. You can, some people write it like this: x is equal to 4, x is equal to -3, x is equal to 2, x is equal to -1. That's also acceptable, okay? The catch is you have to have all 4 answers with the right signs.
The wares, you have to
Yes.
have all 4 of the solution sets, right? With the right signs, right?
Could
You don't want to work out the whole you want us to work it out all the way or just put the solution set?
Good question. Good question. I wish I could let you work it out the whole thing. I could. Well, here's the deal. You can just write the answers. Okay. Some people try to write it out, I don't have a problem. But the only problem is sometimes the computer can't take too many lines. Okay. So just give me the answer.
Okay, thank you.
Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. In the right format, just give me the answer. And this one is easy to enter. There's no square or fraction. Any other questions, guys? Okay, one more, the last one, the so-called hardest one. Okay, we're going to work on this one. Let's do number 60, 60. I'm moving on, guys. Okay, can anybody tell me if they know what kind of substitution we will have to use for this one? Anybody? What do you think, guys? What's a good choice for our substitution? Well, let me try. I'm going to replace 10 over y minus 10 over y, this whole thing with y. And then hopefully it will look like a quadratic function. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, I'm replacing y minus 10 over y with x, okay? This time it's in y, big deal. Okay, so I'm going to say x squared plus 6x minus 27. Okay, 20, I'm going to write it here on the side and I'm going to delete it. 27 is 9 times 3 and 9 minus 3 is 6. So it's our best bet. All right. So what are we going to do here? We're going to write x and 9. I'm going to tell you how I choose the signs. X and 3. Okay. I want a positive 6. 9 minus 3 will give me positive 6. And this minus 27, the minus here, tells me that I want the signs to be different, and this one works. Negative 3 times negative 9 is negative 27. 9x minus 3x, foiling, I'm just foiling, is positive 6x. So that has to be correct. And now we can say x, doing all that, each portion is equal to 0. So I have my first portion. The second portion will be done here. And yeah, the equation will look a little ugly. So I'm going to claim x is equal to negative 9 means or implies y minus 10 over y equal to negative 9. Okay, how do I solve this, guys? I need to have the same denominator, and I'm going to do it in yellow, then I'm going to delete it. I'm going to multiply both top and bottom by a y of this first fraction. Okay, and I'm going to go back to my green, and what do I get? You can do it as long as you're doing it on the top and bottom, the same thing, you're okay. Well, same thing means multiplication or division. You get y squared over y minus 10 over y equal to negative 9. And now the numerator can be subtracted or added depending on the sign. We have a subtraction. The denominators are the same. And if you would allow me, I have to go down. I'm going to show you everything in a minute, but let's just work on this piece. We get y squared. There is a little one here. I'm going to write it in yellow so that you know it's kind of understood. And we get y squared minus 10 times 1, yellow 1, and minus 9y. Okay. And it does look like a typical quadratic equation, nothing to worry about. Hopefully, we'll be able to solve it without a lot of problems. I'm going to bring everything on the same side. Now, minus 9y, when it's moved around, it becomes plus 9y. Negative 10 remains negative 10. Now, this is not bad. 10 is what, guys? 10 times 1 is 10, and 10 minus 1 is 9. That allows me to do this. I'm gonna check it, okay, in a minute. I'm gonna do this. I need a lot of room. We're gonna see how that goes. So minus 10, that sounds about right. So that tells me y is equal to negative 10 or y is equal to 1. I'm gonna test one of them. Okay, let's test y is equal to 1. Well, we'll test it later. How's that? So I'm gonna go back, guys. I'm gonna find my last answer, minus 9. Sorry, I did minus 9, okay? This was done here. And I'm gonna do it in orange, this guy, on this side, on the right-hand side. So what would I write here? We're gonna write x equal to, and it does take a little bit of time, okay? And instead of x, I can write y minus 10 y equal to 3. Same old thing. Multiply y, top and bottom. Multiply both top and bottom by y. And you're going to get y squared. I need a little bit of room, so I'm going to write it here. Oh boy, they might have to, well, we'll see how this one goes. So same thing, guys. The top is y squared minus 10. It's very repetitive. Y squared. No square. We multiply both top and bottom. There's a little one here by y, and we're going to get y squared minus 10 equal to 3y, and bring everything to the same side, minus 10. All right, how do I get 3 from 10? 5 times 2 is 10. 5 minus 2 is 3. So I'm going to write y 5 and 2. I'm going to check. So 5 minus 5 and plus 2 gives me negative 10. Minus 5 and plus 2 also gives me negative 3, because minus 5 plus 2 is negative 3 when I add them. So that means y equal to 5 or y equal to 1. Now I got a lot of answers, okay, and I was kind of in the thick of it. I'm going to go back and check all 4 answers using my calculator a little patiently, okay? So bear with me. So the first value is, okay, I really have 3 answers. No, this one is actually, I don't know why I wrote plus 1. This is supposed to be negative 2. I have 4 answers. Okay, positive 5, negative 2, positive 10, and 1. I'm going to check the 1 first, and then I'm going to check each of them in that order. In order to check it, you have to go back to the main equation and be a little patient. So in parentheses, 1 plus 10 over 1 square plus, in parentheses. Now you have to do it 1 minus 10 over 1. You have to do it by hand. You don't have a lot of choice. I can do it on my calculator, but it's an online class. I want you to see what we are doing. Oh, great. Okay, I forgot a 6 here. Okay, so the first one, just check. The 1 is correct. Okay, I got 4. I know we're going back and forth. I got 1. This one is correct. All right, so very carefully, I'm going to check 1. I'm going to check 5, and I'm going to check minus 2. So let's see if I can do the rest. I'm going to do 5 now. No, it's not too bad. 5. I'm going to replace 1 with 5. And I did. Look, I got a 0. So 1 works, 5 works. And let's do it for, as promised, let's do it for all 4. -2 is the next guy. And look, -2 also works. The only thing I haven't checked yet, I believe, is -10. And I will do it right away. -10. And that one works too. Okay, I have my solutions all checked, so I'm pretty confident. And there is the whole problem. Now, when I go, like, you have to tell me if this is too hard to see, too small for you guys to see. Here is the whole problem, and these are all correct. Your answer will be as follows. What answer would you put on the exam? All you have to put is the answer. And you're looking for Y this time. And the order really doesn't matter, but you can start with 1, -10, comma, -2, and +5, and it'll be nice if you put this here. So I'm going to pause here. I know it was a long problem, and it took us about half an hour to do just 2. I'm going to pause here a little bit for people to ask questions. What do you think, guys? Anybody wants to say how they feel? Do they get it? Do they not get it? Where are we? You guys are very quiet today. Anybody wants to say if they get it? Or not? Both are acceptable.
Yes, I get it.
Okay, Cicely, thank you. Who else, guys? Who else wants to share? Anyone else? All right, guys. I have 10 minutes. Here's what I want to do. I want to switch, and when we come back, we're going to start chapter 2. Okay, chapter 2 has a lot of little things we're going to do today, so try to bear with me. And then the problems are not that bad from section 1. They're relatively easy. So let's get out of this session, come back really quickly. See you soon.